Three, two, one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of the Mondo Cool podcast.
Shout out.
Mondo.
Cool. Mondo.
Vegeta. Sweet.
We out here.
Krillin.
Heyo.
Hell yeah.
It's your boy, Mark Lane, and I'm here with the homies.
What's
we got on my left
Enrique.
and on my right.
Austin. What's up, folks?
We
Hey,
got
everyone.
Out here,
A
gang.
little bit of gang.
Find
out
us on the internet. We're not gonna give you any clues.
Nah.
Yeah, just
Figure it out.
Just check out Austin. It's
Search
there.
optimization. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Mondo
Got
Cool
it.
with a
We have
K.
all of us here have great SEOs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're lit.
Well, I had great SEO until that football player Austin Dodge came through and fucked me up.
It's a
But anyway.
football. Wow.
Oh,
there it
dude,
is.
no. Just quick little sidebar about
Yeah.
SEOs.
Sidebar.
The number one. Okay, guys, I'm gonna reveal my full name here. Enrique Viena
Oh, shit.
is if you look it up, is Enrique de Viena,
Damn.
and he's like a poet and also a rumored necromancer.
Wow.
Yeah, they have like one of those like Egyptian like portraits of him, and I'm like, I can never beat that.
Yeah, I mean,
Damn.
your
There's
clout,
like- there's
your
never-
clout will never be as
No,
high as
dude,
necromancer.
rumored necromancer, like that's crazy.
Jesus.
That's tough to beat.
But-
That's
I
tough
know.
to beat at the party.
Speaking of poets, we're out here with a hip hop podcast, Mondo Cool.
Yeah.
That's right.
What the fuck
It's
is
the
up?
poetry
A
Yeah.
of
little bit
today.
of poetry.
The art.
The
We're
art of
giving it
poetry
to
of today.
So yeah, let's get right into this bullshit.
Let's get started.
With our first ever Mondo Cool album review.
Oh,
So
boy.
let's
Oh,
start
yeah.
out with the boy.
big
Wait,
one?
Jay-Z
The
didn't
big
start?
one?
Oh yeah, I guess we didn't do the official rating system.
Yeah, we didn't.
I got a rating system.
Oh, you have a rating system. Oh, can we go through the rating
doing
system
an
first?
official
Got the
rating system?
It's based on a 4-star system.
Oh, why four?
An album will either be But, Cool, or Mondo Cool.
Whoa,
Oh!
See what I
like
did there,
that.
right?
That's really fun.
Is there gonna be like a super exception like masterpiece, or
There
just
might
like
be.
we're just like busting a
The
nut?
rare
kind of thing?
Busting a nut, full Super Saiyan. I don't know. We'll
Jesus.
figure it out.
We'll
The
get
album
there.
will come along and it'll get us there.
So first album review on the channel.
Bam.
All right.
Tyler the Creator's Flower Boy.
Beautiful.
Scumfuck Flower Boy.
Scumfuck.
Good old
Flower Boy.
Scumfluck.
Scumfluck
Yeah, that's
Flower
how
Boy.
I say that
Scumfluck
one.
Flower
Sounds-
Boy. Scumfluck Flower
Now
Boy.
you're close.
Scumfluck Flower Boy.
Yeah. But it's
Good
finally,
album.
we're finally able to listen. The rest of us have listened to it. Some of us have had advanced copies.
Well,
Yeah, I've had it for
sent
a
to
while.
them purposely.
Oh yeah, I was at that the fashion show.
Yeah.
You remembered me.
I was at the
That does-
fashion
Yes,
show.
sure you were, bud. Show your receipts, bud.
Okay.
Pal.
I got the
Got the
shoes.
shoe.
I
That's
got
a-
the
that's a
receipts
nice
in the
little
bag.
receipt.
Anybody can make a shoe.
He's got a point.
Damn. So what do you think of the album?
I'm personally so excited about it because on one level,
Well, excited
it's-
about it? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
I was just like happy about how good it is.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm very
yeah,
excited
sorry.
about it. It's the first Tyler album that I can strictly say is zero problematic lines. Just
Yeah.
really clean, like a
That's
great,
real.
beautiful album. And just every track is beautiful. Like there's just so many highlights on this album. So I'm finally excited to have an album I can praise, not feel guilty about it. There's nothing I gotta ignore. It's just an amazing album through and through.
Yeah, my mom could listen to this album.
Yeah.
and
That's
she
what I was gonna
enjoyed it.
say.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
definitely like one of those.
Yeah, something about it felt really good in the sense that I feel like Cherry Bomb was Tyler's first like venture into just doing an album that's purely for him rather than what people want from him. But I feel like this kind of combined both in a really cool
I don't
way.
know, dude. You don't think Bastard was like purely for him?
Bastard was purely for him,
Okay.
but also I feel like as he got older, people only wanted Bastard from him. They wanted the dark.
They wanted Goblin
basement,
specifically. I
Goblin. They want the lakes. They want the like rape content. But like this was the first time he was like, "Fuck, I don't do that
Well,
anymore."
clearly he wanted to be more soulful, more jazzy.
think. I feel like he's
Kind of
been
committed
on
to
that
Cherry
bent for a
Bomb.
while though, right?
Definitely,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's why I'm saying I was really excited because I wasn't a fan of Cherry Bomb. I have a lot of respect for Cherry Bomb because it was an album that needed to be made. But I feel like this album was a great combination of things that he really likes, but also like the sounds that I really personally enjoy.
He
from
just
Tyler.
did it well. He figured it out.
He did a great like combination of things. I mean, he had like his classic instrumental like weird noises, like almost off Sandwiches style with his like doo 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 shit, which was great because we got to hear that in like a modern Tyler fashion that just like worked. And his transitions, holy fuck.
Yeah, this is the first album that, well, not the first, because actually a lot of them have seamless transitions, but he really, like, there's no jarring transitions between tracks.
Yeah.
There's no, like, dramatic sound change.
Well, it's also just like they have really serious songs and like a fucking like stupid song.
Yeah, just like
the really dumb. Yeah, just like the Jasper Taco.
Yeah, hour.
Like, hour.
The one time.
He'll have a song about his dad and how much he misses him or wants to see him or
and
like maybe or fuck him.
Yeah.
And then right after would be like this like really stupid.
I just
like,
bought a whale because I'm balling. Exactly. Yeah.
So none of those on this
None.
one.
Yeah.
Not a single.
It was like real.
While at the same time not having like one of those the narrative. I won't say it's the crutch, but having a narrative like the other ones, like Bastard or Goblin or Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I wanted
the
to
therapist.
speak. I was thinking I miss Dr. Troncat. You know, that's the one thing I really do miss off this album is the storyline and the characters and the whole like universe that Tyler created with his early albums. But
that's true.
It was good enough that I didn't feel like it really needed it. In the sense that you're saying it's a crutch, I always saw it as icing on the cake. But like this album didn't need any more icing. It was
I didn't even mean it as a crutch. I just meant it as like it didn't need it to like make it obvious.
Yeah.
He did it musically as opposed to
being
with like narrative.
Skit.
Here's a skit.
Song.
Yeah,
here's a skit.
Yeah.
Here's character by
He did it perfectly by just musically.
Definitely.
To know like there's a beginning and end of the album and it's very evident and there's a whole transition from like his emotions to where he feels and just like I don't know, just like the whole feeling of being kind of like alone and not being able to connect with other people.
Yeah.
Like literally with phone calls, that seems like a big thing in a lot of the album about like not being able to reach or like contact people.
Yeah.
And just being kind of like isolated.
Yeah.
And alone, right? Like he says literally like these are things not even like I'm like taking from it. He
These
literally
are pretty clear
he literally says it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was a great album as well.
Easily one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's probably is most cohesive, most like well put together, carefully project.
Absolutely.
And it definitely, I don't know, it just feels like a lot of the things brewing that I think that he's always wanted to achieve.
Right.
He's finally gotten to that point.
This is the goal he's been setting.
Like he's always said those songs, this type of song, those kind of like more melodic songs were like his favorite, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like you said, like Treehouse from Wolf was one of his favorite songs. Mm-hmm. But that was like that was a good song, but it wasn't like
didn't fit with the rest. Of
the
the
one
album.
didn't fit. It was just kind of like there wasn't enough oomph there, right?
Yeah.
It was almost a little too simple.
I liked it, but you're right.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
Does that song happened before or after Tamale?
Tamale's right after.
Right after,
Tamale's
yeah.
directly after.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
So you're right. Like this album had no like, hey, nice song to like crazy shit.
Right.
So that was something that was very different about this.
Also, I feel like I heard his Jimmy Fallon just Jimmy Fallon interview where he said that he thinks people like him more because he decided to put music as a forefront, lyrics as a backseat. So he would purposely he would use less words. He would rap less.
Wow.
So he had to pick his words more carefully.
Right.
So he couldn't fuck around and make just stupid things because he had to get everything out within each song. So therefore, kind of boiled each song down to
focused them a little
what? Yeah, it literally just it focused.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really comes through.
Oh yeah.
So on the scale, 1 through 4.
Let me put on my Fantano
Let's
flannel.
remind the people. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, we now have an official Mondo Cool podcast review system. We have But, I, Cool, and Mondo Cool. And man, it feels weird to do the first official album rule and throw out a Mondo Cool. But I'm really feeling it for this album. There's nothing I really don't like about this. I mean, we can do best track, worst track if you want to.
I think that maybe I wanted a more complete ending.
Yeah.
I think it's I think Glitter's a great song.
Yeah.
I like it. And I like the little instrumental afterwards. I think it's pretty. But I just felt like he could have thrown some words to make it feel more done.
Complete.
Yeah. Maybe musically it felt done, but maybe not lyrically. Maybe he was purposely doing that, but I felt that just me personally, I'd feel better.
That's fair.
If there was a more conclusive this is done.
Right.
Maybe I need that. Maybe other people don't, but I don't know. That's where I feel.
Now that you bring it up, it definitely it does kind of trail off. There's a big hype stretch of Boredom, I Ain't Got Time, 911, Mr. Lonely, and like there's like two Pothole,
I loved Pothole.
November, and then like the last 2 tracks are kind of like
No, but that's Glitter. It's Glitter and an outro for Glitter.
Yeah.
Those are the last 2 tracks.
kinda
It's literally
wind
one
up.
track. It's like whatever. Yeah.
It's
So-
the Pyramids track split in 2.
Yeah.
The classic.
But yeah, I wish it had more conclusive, but it's still a great album. I
Real
think.
quick, and I could be wrong, on Wolf, I feel like he didn't wrap that shit up either. I don't remember exactly how it ended, but I remember it being
Wolf
like
is it's the Dr. Troncat. He's like, have you seen like Samuel? And he's like, nah.
Samuel,
If I see
I
him,
seen him, I'm gonna kill him. And like that's how it ends, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'd seen him, I would have killed him.
Well, see, conspiracy theory hours. It's supposed to be a prequel. So people are saying, if you seen him, I would have killed him. How does Goblin start? You wouldn't hurt anyone, Tyler. Oh, it's a cycle.
Stop it.
Fam, real conspiracy
Jesus.
hours. What's up?
Honestly,
so maybe it does end the way it's supposed to.
I feel like I've read so many like conspiracy
On
theories
this?
of like Tyler stuff. What's up? What are we doing back there?
Mark, can I borrow your headset?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go borrow that headset.
Oh, I thought you
Heck
were telling
yeah.
us to raise the volume.
No, we're
Okay.
good. We're
Well, I don't remember what
good.
I was
Yeah,
saying.
real
Let's get it.
conspiracy hours. Yeah.
Real-
Oh, I
Okay.
thought you didn't know about that.
Well, I've read so many different conspiracy theories on like how this
The
whole thing
Sams
goes.
and all that.
There's like many different storylines that people have gone through, and I've never considered that one.
Oh no, I thought that was like the forefront. Like
That
that's
one
the
was
I've heard
like
the
one of
most.
the most popular.
Well, I mean, I think I'm more
conspiracies.
just mostly shocked by the fact that like album ends, Goblin.
Oh
starts
yeah.
that
That
way.
no, I think
I didn't
that
even think about
I
that.
definitely think that's how it's intended.
Yeah.
As I
It
think.
makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, I think that's
So
a pretty.
final reviews.
So you're going Mondo Cool.
I'm gonna
right?
give it a Mondo Cool. I will successfully.
I
give
feel like. I guess I'll give it. I'm gonna do the Neil Drop light Mondo
it.
Cool.
Ooh, a light Mondo Cool.
A light Mondo Cool.
Ooh.
That's fair. Respectable.
Damn, man. I'm a huge Tyler boy. He influenced me a lot. I'm gonna have to hit him with like the regular cool. I really like it. It's a good album, but it didn't get me moving, and that's fine. Maybe that's not the purpose.
What about Who That Boy and
Who
like
That Boy's fun, but it doesn't get me dancing.
what about I Ain't Got Time?
Nothing about it makes me want to dance.
Oh really?
Like
What
Because
song? What
those
song?
are
Of, what
like
older Tyler
throwbacks.
songs make you want to dance?
I don't know. I think they make me want to mosh more than they make me want to dance.
Well, yeah,
Like
definitely.
the classics, like the real like Goblin shit, like that you like literally mosh to. Like
Okay.
Sandwiches, like you're flinging arms to that shit. Like my first ever crowd surf was to an album on a song on Goblin. I can't remember what the song was, but it was like,
Troncat.
it wasn't Tron Cat. It was something I can't remember. But it's my first ever crowd surf was to a Tyler song, and I don't see myself crowd surfing to anything on this album. As
Okay.
much as it's a
We're
great
not gonna
album.
crowd surf to November.
Okay, real quick. Was that Jaden Smith on Potholes?
Yeah, it was. You didn't know
I
that?
thought-
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was.
see any features
Oh
or
yeah,
anything,
yeah.
so-
They didn't. That's the Apple Music or Spotify
Oh,
problem.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they sometimes don't even tell you the speed
Oh,
features.
cool.
Although if you buy it, it tells you.
It tells
like,
you, yeah.
yeah, it's
Otherwise,
a
it'd
weird.
be a
It's an
little
odd
wiki.
thing. It's
It's
a
good
nice
though.
little surprise though.
Yeah.
And yeah, November is. Oh yeah, let's do some favorite songs.
Best
just real
track,
quick.
worst track?
Yeah, just best.
Best track for me is Boredom. That was the song I heard
Okay.
and was immediately like, whoa, I am immediately impressed. That drop is so beautiful. And it just like, I heard it and I like replayed it like 3 times. I was like, I love this song through and through.
I would say my favorite is probably. It's between I Ain't Got Time and what was the next one?
Rip That Kanye
November.
feature.
Yeah, that
The one
or
that
Nicki
could've been,
Minaj.
yeah.
Both. I think Nicki Minaj would have killed that, but I think
That's
those
so
two songs are amazing. I think there are a lot of songs are amazing, but those two specifically are ones that like I'm like impressed by, or
Yeah.
like I would go back to when I'm feeling some kind of way for November. And I Ain't Got Time if I want to just have fun in my
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Get fired up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with Potholes because it made me run it back. I was like, I don't know, something about it was really enjoyable for me.
Oh, just a quick thing. I did think like there's a lot of catchy stuff in the album too.
Oh,
Like
A
going
lot of catchy
going
shit.
back and like listening to it like multiple times throughout. There's like melodies I forgot that were from this album. That was like, oh, this is catchy.
Oh.
Also, having like gone to the fashion show, I heard so many sounds in this album that were like in the fashion show that got me pumped because like he was not leaking, but like putting out the sound of what he wants his whole like golf brand to be way before the album came out, and it was cool to know that like he's been working on it since last year. And,
Yeah.
like it was cool to like have a day in time, like last July he was working on like songs from that album. I don't know, it's
Cool.
kind of sick.
Yeah, that's sick
Oh,
as
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I feel like we're
think
worst
we
track. I
wrapped
think
up.
I think I threw in. I guess the one I just because it concluded it was Glitter, but I don't think it's a bad
I know, I was
song.
gonna say Glitter 2 for my worst track, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't have a work track.
I think
I don't know.
I think Glitter was just because I felt like. Also, I feel like I think it's catchy still, but I feel like if he got a Frank, I know he's like 2 times on the album already. It's just like sometimes when I hear him sing, I'm like, just get Frank.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I feel like that's why that like Austin guy is so prevalent.
Yeah.
The young guitar player. Because he needed someone to like.
And he can sing. I love that he's singing, and it's great. And he does layer it with other people's vocals who can sing better. And he knows that. There's no. He knows he's not the best singer. It is charming sometimes.
Did you see his tweet today where he's talking about like singing, and he's like, "Man, my singing got so much better. I'm still not great, but it got better."
Yeah, no, it totally did. Yes,
it's
significant. No, because I can't. The Young song. What is that Young song? The Fucking Young.
Perfect.
That song I can't. I personally just can't listen to. It's just like it's just obnoxious. It's just like it just feels like a joke singing to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Interesting.
It's pretty ridiculous.
I don't know. I like that shit a lot.
I like the Perfect segment with him
amazing.
harmonizing with Kali Uchis. Yeah. I think that's
I personally enjoy.
Yeah, when he layers like that, I like it. But
like,
because they sound nice together. But then when it's just him, I'm like, this sounds like a kind of a joke sometimes.
I don't know. I find it appealing because I'm like, at least he's being honest. I mean, any other rapper's gonna throw auto-tune on it and be like, ta-da. No. I really enjoy listening to someone struggle because it's like authentic, and I feel like in many ways it conveys more emotions than like a lot of things. For example, I don't want to bring it to SoundCloud, but XXX Tentacion, Garrett's song, he is singing like not amazing, but something about that adds that extra level of like passion.
Technically, Eminem did it too.
I mean, a lot of people just can't sing.
Where he can't sing, but he sang on that too.
Yeah.
And it's not. I guess I'm personally just like.
Don't got time.
If you sing,
it's fair.
And you can't like. If you can just bring in the other person who can sing vocals and layer them as soon as you can,
right?
Like I understand, like I get that, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes, especially like when you harken back to more like jazzy songs, like the singers for jazz songs have always been like incredible,
right?
Like they've always been such a highlight. So when he has kind of like those jazzy tunes,
sounds.
Combined with that singing, it seems odd. If he was singing to like something more like archaic, like was it like more. I don't know if it matter. Just like crazy.
Musically.
Just like crazy.
Yeah.
You know? Just like I would personally feel like that would justify more like honest singing.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like the way he sings is kind of odd, but I also feel like it's kind of the future.
Well, we'll have to wait.
And with that, let's move on.
Okay, I think that's a good.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
I'll take that. Jesus Christ.
All right, what do we got?
So the other album that I was hyped out about was Vic Mensa's studio debut, The Autobiography, which we got to listen to via NPR First Listen.
Except Austin listened to the manuscript.
I listened to the manuscript.
He listened to 3 songs.
Just like 444, but I'm going for what's available.
I think at the same time, I heard some of your opinions earlier, and I feel like we fall almost
in similar opinions.
Yeah, I think we do.
So should I jump into them?
Let me set the scene too for the album.
Yes.
So basically, here's what happened. This album has been a long time coming. I think he mentioned. I mean, it started off with an album called Traffic that was supposed to come out, like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
It's been detox level shit. But eventually, he finally ditched it after delaying it, and brought us with the Autobiography, promising us a very personal and real album. And after there's a lot going on, I had a lot of hope for what Vic's sound would be and what he would be going for. And then listening to the first listen, I mean, disappointed is a strong word, especially for an album with such like personal matter being dealt with. But I just, there was a lot of stuff that I just wasn't feeling, and it was tonally inconsistent. But yeah,
were you saying this album was put off for 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be called something completely different.
That's honestly incredible to hear because my first note on my notes is this sounds like it was made 5 years ago.
Wow.
In the sense that I feel like Vic Mensa is stuck in the 2012 like Lamborghini Mercy sound. And like, I don't know, I think he's a lot of fun, and there is something refreshing about like hearing that old style again. As much as it's not like outdated or extinct, it very much exists. I feel like he carries 2012 hip-hop on his back, and he hasn't let go.
Right. But I think it's tough for him also because his sounds that he really succeeded with were all that time period. So I mean, you had like the Internet Tape, which was very much like 2012, around that, very interesting soul samples, very different production, somewhere in the vein of his partner at the time, Chance the Rapper. And then you also had he had a very big electronic music kick with Down on My Luck.
And then he ditched
Feel
that.
Yeah, and then he ditched that. We got the You Mad 16 shots level production.
Yeah.
And then he kind of did a weird, I don't know what you would really classify the production on this new album.
What I would say is that I feel like almost this album to me felt like Vic Mensa. I've always been kind of wary about his musical identity, just because at the beginning it kind of felt like, oh, his Chance is kind of related to Chance, but he's kind of weirder,
right?
Or, a little more odd,
yeah,
right? And then he went to electronic music, and it was
a switch up.
Which was a switch, and then I was like, oh, okay, is this gonna be his thing? And then he did fuck that. This is You Mad.
Yeah.
And I was like, this song is good, but I was like, dude, you gotta stick to something so I know who you are.
Right.
And then you can move forward from that, but you need to establish something. And I don't feel, this album did not.
He definitely did not establish
This
what
album,
the Vic Mensa sound was.
This is it's so the first song is sounds like a Kanye kind of inspired song, and then it feels like he's just wearing his influence on his sleeve a little. In almost a Logic faction.
Yeah.
It's almost like his influences are too much on his sleeve.
Right.
And a lot of his influences can be modern, like 2014 stuff, and I think fall within that.
2014.
Yeah. Especially, and then I feel like he just doesn't. It's just he doesn't have anything where I'm like, wow, this is you, dude. And even though I feel terrible saying that because the lyricism,
the lyricism is great. I mean, he can rap
to an extent.
To an extent,
for me,
there's some questionable lines.
Can I bring up one?
We'll get.
I have 4.
Cool.
He's got one. He can rap, and there's a lot of personal stuff on here, but. I mean, get into some of the questionable lyrics.
I think it's maybe the lyrics. I think it's because if he wears his influences on his sleeve, I feel like J. Cole maybe.
Yes, because that is so interesting that you brought it up.
Very comparable.
One of the songs that I really didn't like reminds me a lot of J. Cole.
This reminds me of J. Cole. This album, it's very J. Cole-esque in terms of
dark J. Cole.
Yeah, it's a darker, more interesting, which makes me like it a little more. Songs I Love Wings. I think that's a great song.
It's a great song.
I feel like there's some of these great little gems of songs, but then still there's these little lines that I'm like, why did you mention that, right? So I read one that he meant on Wings. He mentions Tyrone Biggums, the Dave Chappelle character. It's a song where he's beating himself up about his introduction, about his true self, and where he falls
struggling with addiction.
He's like, hey, I'm
contemplating suicide.
Yeah. It's a very dark song. It's good. It's a really beautiful song. But then he references Tyrone. He's itching like Tyrone Biggums. And I'm like, why the fuck are you mentioning Tyrone Biggums right now? This is a serious song. And he does this on multiple occasions. I have other lines there's this is a romantic song, and then he goes, dinner dates is somewhere nice to sit like Rosa Parks. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Ooh,
what the fuck? What? You just it's also the bare minimum to relate to. Sitting down like Rosa Parks. What?
Whoa.
Okay. And then, there's the Weezer, line, on the island, an island in the sun, shout out to Weezer, something like that. I'm like, all right, dude. Great. And then that's a line at the beginning you didn't hear. And then there's the other one, which is called up my brothers like Damon Wayans. And I'm like, all right, man, these are serious songs where he's mentioning this stuff, and it just throws me out.
Totally. And to jump back on it, all those references, all of them are insanely outdated.
Yeah.
Is weird because these songs legitimately to me feel like they were written in 2012, and as much as I know he's talking about his current struggles, he's dealing with them in 2012 styles. For example, I did listen to the manuscript, different than the autobiography.
3 songs though are on them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And first off, song number 1, he's got a Maroon 5 chorus style thing.
Yeah.
Can you hear that
What
shit?
song is that on
First
manuscript?
song on manuscript. The chorus is
what song is that?
Yeah, do you know
I can't give you the title. I wish I could. But another thing, he goes, he says, fuck Bill O'Reilly. Which I thought was you know what, you're right, absolutely, that still rings true. But damn, that came out on Goblin, my guy. We're 4 albums later, and that's still a reference. And as much as maybe it's a throwback, it doesn't feel old enough to be a throwback. Other last thing on his lyrics-wise, he had one lyric that was never ending like pie. You know pie? That's a slick line. And to me, that was like the epitome of a hip hop please clap or a comedian asking for laughter. It was like he Jeb Bushed it. Like I feel like when a rap, it always kills it for me when a rapper's like, hey, I just said something sick and now I'm gonna tell you that what I said is sick. Unless you're doing the damn son, where'd you find this sample? Don't talk about how good your last line was.
Right.
To me.
And I mean, speaking of like the datedness, we talked about him sounding a lot like J. Cole. One of the things that really annoys me in hip hop is songs about side chick drama, and it's like the most tedious thing ever to me. Like, I don't care that like sleeping around with multiple girls is difficult.
I want to make a side point. Yeah. Well, pun not intended.
Yeah.
But I want to make I have a sidebar on the side chick song. Okay. Also, if you're gonna pull in somebody who relates to side chick drama, I'm pretty sure Weezer is not your man. Is that the person you bring?
Not your man.
What's it? Rivers Cuomo.
Yeah.
Doesn't I think relate to those problems? Literally the nerdiest they were presented like nerds and like kind of like the other almost in like 90s alternative music.
Absolutely.
But
albums about her.
Yeah, about D&D and stuff like they would reference, and like having that guy come in for the fucking side chick song, come and finish this, like it's so stupid.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
And also, I think that's part of him wearing his influences on his sleeve. Like he'll bring, like he likes Weezer, so he's gonna have a Weezer sampled song about something he relates to, side chicks, and then have Rivers Cuomo, whatever his last name is come in at the end unnecessarily.
It was just, oh my god, it was.
Oh, do you know what the refrain is on that song? It's like, it's like, I knew you were crazy, but not this crazy. It's like it's a cool sample of a Weezer song I like too.
What's like the play on words too? Who thought like the home would be the home wrecker?
Yeah, something like.
Oh god, man. It just.
But then there are some songs like Wings I love. Like I think that song's great.
Right.
There's like minor lines I don't like, but I think it's like I think it's like, wow, this is a really great song. And there's like the beginning track, which I like a lot too.
Right.
So there's like these little gems in the rough. So it feels like almost like it falls in the same like J. Cole territory where I'm like, wow, there's all these little things I like a lot, or these songs I find that are great, but there's like it just doesn't add up to like a great album to me.
Right.
It adds up to like, wow, you have potential, and if you can shed these things, you can make a great album.
I just really wanted like a slam dunk from this because I've been thinking of him really highly. He's been killing it on social political issues, you know, stepping up the DJ academics for his comments about Chicago. I mean, 16 Shots.
That was cool.
Songs like that are just like incredible, powerful songs.
For real. Yeah.
And that's the other thing that I felt on this one. There's no like replay song. Like there's no Danger, there's no 16 Shots, there's no You Mad, Feel That. None of his like hits that he was on a streak where he was just killing it with catchy, amazing songs, and he even was able to do like a 16 Shots where it's got a very big point, and you would like I bump 16 Shots.
I feel like Vic Mensa was almost like purposely not doing that because I feel like he can write those songs,
That's
right?
True.
I don't know,
but I'm not saying it's okay. I feel like he should write those songs.
Totally.
He's great at it.
Yeah.
So.
It's weird because I feel like sometimes he like shows off these weird like third grade rap writing skills, but then every once in a while he hits you with something like 16 Shots. And like when I saw him at the Day and Night Festival, that's the one where he has the whole interlude back in the shot.
We talked about that.
So for example, like we were all going crazy like at this Day and Night Festival in Orange County last year. Everyone's going absolutely nuts, mosh pits everywhere, and then the Mans puts on 16 Shots, dies on the stage, and lays there for like a fucking while, and it like was the actual most powerful thing I've seen at a hip hop show ever. But why doesn't he do powerful good shit all the time? I know it's difficult to do, but I feel like if
he wanted to talk about side chicks on this album.
Well, no. He talks about powerful shit.
He
in
does.
This album.
He does.
He does for sure.
Does.
But I feel like
he does.
For every like 10
it's
songs
nothing.
he puts
It's
out,
nothing.
one's
It's
great.
nothing. It's nothing as good as 16 Shots.
16 Shots.
Totally.
But there is like stuff that's introspective and interesting. I felt like the opposite, where I felt like he almost went into the point that it became almost corny. How much he tried to be like intense and real,
conscious,
and like you go back to his like older stuff is like funny. There's like he's like weird and he tells like jokes and stuff, and that's like not here.
Yeah,
and I felt like that was almost part of his personality, even if it's like he's talking about serious stuff. He could tell like. Also, telling a joke is not just referencing Tyron Biggums.
Right.
If that's like supposed to be like what he's trying to do. But like I don't know, I felt like that was also missing from I know it's there because I've heard it before in the internet tape.
Right.
But like I still think they're little great songs here that are like powerful,
Right.
and they work. But then there's other ones that are like like it's like J. Cole,
Yeah.
just like there's it's so like you could take this and my review right now and then just move it over to any J. Cole album,
True.
Right.
and it would be like the exact same almost.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, dude, this guy can do something really good, but he's just being kind of good, and there's just this stuff that's really dumb.
There's just stuff that's so frustratingly dumb
Yeah.
that takes me out of it.
Yeah, and I hope for the best. I want Vic to be big. I want him to do great album, and I'm sure he might have one down the road.
I think
I
so.
can't wait.
I think he needed to get some things off of his chest.
Dude, he's
Clearly
just
has been going
he also
through a
needs
lot.
he also needs to set out like an album, be like, hey guys, this is it. So the hype's out.
Yeah.
So you can make an album that's for him that can be good, right?
And I think this album is definitely for him. Like it's very.
You think
talking
this?
about the
You think
things he
this
needed to
one's
talk
for
about.
him?
I think this is for him. It's not for a lot of other people. It's definitely therapeutic for him, and I hope that he was able to get a lot of things off his chest and grow and be able to proceed further and, I don't know, find out what he wants to do from there. But I think this is definitely like a Vic speaking more or less to himself. I mean, he does on Wings speak to himself. So
Maybe I think the issue may have been that he recorded this album maybe over such a long time that it seems scattered.
That's true.
Like
Right.
maybe from his perspective, he's like, "Well, I tried."
4 years.
Like but next time try to more concise timeline to make something, because then it will seem more off the cuff and more interesting. If he wants to be raw, right?
Right.
If he wants to be real, maybe that could work for him. I don't know. That's why I don't know. This is advice if he happens to ever listen to this.
Yeah,
Shout
big
out.
time listening,
Hey,
man.
thanks
This
for watching.
constructive criticism.
Yeah.
I know you've been waiting. But yeah,
Yeah, we're all fans. We all care.
we
It's
are,
like
we are
We
fans.
care.
we just this is how we really feel. Yeah.
And it hurt me to say
Being
it.
honest.
Yeah.
But
I wanna love it.
final reviews are on the board. Anyone wanna-
Fuck. I guess what's the 2?
We got Butt,
What's 2?
High, Cool, and Mondo Cool.
It's a high I.
High.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna give it a mid to low. All right.
Oh.
I wasn't hurt, but I had so.
How
much
would you review
expectations
the
for
EP
this album.
that came out a month ago?
Yeah, what do you give a manuscript?
I'm gonna give Manuscript
But
a quick butt.
Ooh.
You didn't like Bud
He
at all.
started off with like a Maroon 5 chorus, and I'm like, my God.
Well, that's the first song. There's other
Second
songs.
song, I'll tell you, is the Pusha
Okay.
T one where it samples "Oh My Goodness" in a cool
Oh.
way of
Oh
being
my goodness.
sampled.
A quick side. I just forgot.
But I was like, this is a Pusha
Okay.
T song
Oh yeah. He's great.
featuring Vic Mensa.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he took over the song. He's better than
it's like
Vic.
the Sway Lee French Montana.
Yeah,
shit right
for
now.
sure.
Yeah.
Oh, just a side note. I thought the sequencing on the album was really weird
Oh,
and like didn't
yeah,
make
you
sense.
did
Just
run
like the
that.
album, everything just kind of like the 4 songs home record, and he tries to be like, "Hey, it's me," like introduce like me as being real, and then that song is like towards the end. Like I'm like,
On an album about being real.
yeah, it's just like it just doesn't
Very
feel.
scatterbrained, like you said.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel focused
Yeah.
as I would want it. And
Yeah.
that's so yeah.
AKA butt.
Yeah, AK is shitty.
Yeah,
1 star.
sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Hey Vic, if you're watching, I'm sorry, man.
I'm switching this to a fuck you. Like,
Yeah, quick
Vic is gonna
message,
get mad
guys.
now.
I'm
Vic is
so-
coming
I'm
through.
switching.
You saw what he did to DJ Academics.
Try to fight me.
He's not
He's
fucking around.
not fucking around at
No,
all.
fuck
that's
DJ Academics. I agree with you.
I love
He
academics.
sucks.
Hey, academics.
Damn, hot takes everywhere.
I actually
Jesus.
don't like him.
Yeah.
I'm pro
Shout
Joe
out
Budden.
academics.
Budden
Biden?
Biden
Fuck
2021 or whatever.
Biden Biden.
2020.
Holy
2020.
hell.
That's my choice.
Holy
Damn.
hell.
Listen
Alright.
to it if you want.
On to the next subject. Hype alert. Wiki, the main man himself out of New York, coming out with a new album that I'm very excited about called No Mountains in Manhattan. Factual statement.
That's a fact.
And he dropped a new single called Pretty Bull. Thoughts, comments, concerns on that single?
I liked it.
I thought it was really good.
I thought it was a fun little single. It falls within like the stuff that he's been making. I'm a fan of him. So
That beat is super catchy.
I liked it as well. I don't know where does Austin fall because I feel like you're not a
Yeah,
fan.
because I don't know what
You
you,
don't
think
know.
about like Wiki. What's Mr. SoundCloud thing?
Here's my issue: is I don't know what I think about Wiki because I think he's really good,
Right.
but I'm never putting him on my own. I always have somebody else who's a Wiki head be like, "Hey, listen to this song. Wiki's great," and I'm like, "You're right." But there's nothing there for me personally to like dig from. I think he's incredibly talented, and in an era of and what rap, amazing that he has a unique voice that doesn't sound anything like what I'm really listening to.
Yeah, go more nasally.
He is insanely unique. And unlike, unfortunately, Vic Mensa, where he sounds like any rapper 2012, Wiki does hold his own as like an individual artist. As much as I'm not listening to him, I'm enjoying.
I feel like Wiki is definitely spearheading like the underground rap scene of today, like of like the more technical side.
He's really
like
good.
of like the more weirder but like still lyrical side.
I mean, I think he's honestly like New York savior, because he's
really
everything
good.
that like traditional New York rap fans would want,
I
but
agree.
also presenting it in like a new sound and in a new way that's
a very very new sound.
Yeah,
it definitely with what Sporting Life's production.
Exactly.
He comes off as a very unique, and his voice there's like a multiple things, but he's still like very inspired by his city and the music that's been made beforehand.
Exactly.
So yeah, I feel like he's just. I think it's more of the underground than like the over, but like he definitely is like a star. Yeah.
And he gets it. He's putting on some great people. Shout outs to DJ. He put on
DJ.
He went on tour with
They're
Wiki.
still
They're
playing
still
shit together.
doing
Yeah,
big
shout out
things,
DJ.
Wiki gets it, and I think he's
Shout out Dark
definitely
World.
what's gonna help New York get to where it needs to be.
I would agree.
I hope I enjoy this new album.
I think it's gonna be good. I mean, his last album was so good.
Well, he connects to he got like a Madlib feature
Right.
on his album. Not Madlib meaning like he produced a song, but
He played Mad Libs?
no, he played Madlib. No, he got Madlib to produce a song for him, which is rare. That's a difficult thing to get.
For sure.
But I think like the people within that, like Earl.
Right.
Like that area of like the underground kind of like
absolutely
like more lyrical
quality,
like
but they're not hype beasts.
Yeah. But they're not like trying to do 90s rap or something else. They're definitely they're doing a more like I guess like I don't know how to describe it, but like a more today's modern version of underground rap,
new
right?
Lyrical.
That's not like taking old stuff and just making
it's not just boom bam.
Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like hearing the fact that he's like a New York person like makes so much sense, and like the sound sounds so like
that's who he
is
is.
New York.
That's so
New York. It makes so much sense to
Every
me,
album he's done is the most New York thing.
Yeah, I feel like
the map of New York was an album. Like literally, like that was
that's
one
amazing.
of them.
No, I feel like I've gained a lot of respect for him hearing that, and you're right in the sense that it does sound very New York, but also it's him and like what he wants to bring to the table of New York hip hop, and I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
And Zach's playing some PUBG. Hell
He's
yeah!
going crazy.
Shout out
to Unknown
crazy
Player.
back.
Thanks for making that game.
You know who else needs a shout out? I think our man's Chance the Rapper.
Oh,
and
what a
Donald
transition!
Glover.
Wow.
Just a thought.
Beautiful.
They should make some songs together.
They should, huh?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Well, it seems that Chance has alluded to that very fact.
Wow.
He's saying that he's apparently releasing some new music with Donald Glover himself. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was just like blindly excited. I was like, yes, this is the collab that was presented. But now, I don't know.
I'm not on the same page.
I think of Childish Gambino, Donald Glover in such a different light now after listening to the other album. Like, you just sing. I don't want to hear you rap anymore.
Is he even interested in rapping anymore?
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, if it's
I think we differ.
Really?
That's fine, but like...
I mean, I just think he's way better as a singer. He's clearly very talented. That album was... I mean, one of the only albums that I just like am so in love with and will constantly go back to. And I just think.
Oh, really? You go back to it a lot?
I go back to
I listen to some songs, but I feel like
You're talking about Coloring Book, am I wrong?
No, we're talking about Gambino's.
Oh, Gambino, not because of the internet, the newer one.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, what's that called?
Awake My Love.
There it is.
Yeah, I revisit it a lot. I love it.
Really? That's cool.
It's a great album. And so I don't know. I mean, what is he going to sound like compared to Chance, who's also
She
changed?
moved out of California.
Yeah, are we going to get that song? We're going to get that.
She broke a Korea
No. You're right.
I mean, I just don't know what they're going to sound like together at this point, since they're so different. They're at different points in their career, doing different stuff completely. So I don't know what their collab is going to sound like. It would have been great when did Because the Internet come out? Like,
well, they did collab on Because of the Internet.
13 right now.
Yeah, 14.
And I mean, they sounded great around that time. And if it came out then, I would have been very excited.
I don't know.
But now I just feel like they're so different in what they're doing musically that I don't know what it could sound
I definitely get that. I feel like Chance, Donald Glover, like collabs have historically been pretty sweet.
True.
I feel like personally, I'm a bigger fan of Chance and his early work with like Acid Rap and 10 Day.
I agree.
I'm not a big fan of Coloring Book. Good album, really sick.
Too
like, I'm just not the guy to be preached to right now. And like maybe in 2 years I'll totally flip, and like that's how that goes. But I feel like his acid rap collab with Donald Glover was absolutely great. And then because the internet, like Donald Glover Chance thing, was less great. It was fine, but it was like my most skipped song on Because of the Internet.
Oh, was it? I still like that song, but there wasn't really a Chance like feature on it. It was just like him on the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get a bar from him or anything.
True. So I'm excited to
it
hear what we
existed,
get next.
but they took it out, which is weird, right? Yeah.
And the fact that like they've both changed drastically since their last collab, I think at the end of the day, regardless of its quality, I'm excited.
I mean, I'm open. I'll wait for some sort of drop, some sort of single or something, and I'll judge further from there.
It's like I feel weird hearing him rap now.
Yeah,
like
but
I feel
I can't picture it.
I like him rapping.
Yeah, it's like.
I thought at first you were saying that Chance should stick to singing and
No.
No.
And that's where I was like, I differ there.
No.
Because
Chance,
I like Chance as a rapper.
Chance is better.
He's not
co-rapper.
Not Chance the singer.
Yeah.
I've seen him live and he was Chance the tapper where he tap danced, but I do like him as a rapper. And like with Gambino as well, I like him as a rapper. Yeah. I also like him as a singer. Gambino hits the perfect spot where like he can sing, he can rap. I like either way.
No, for sure.
Chance, I want him to rap, but also do you, man.
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
You.
Praise God, Jesus, all
Glory
that.
be to God, yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
We will see.
Maybe, I feel like if it doesn't go anywhere, like, they try to be, like, deep with it, maybe. If it's just, like...
the concept album?
Yeah, or, I don't know, trying to go, like, more deeper, like, thematically stuff. Right. Like, if it's just more surface level, like, fun songs, which I feel they would both kill more. Yeah, I think it'd be a better album if they wasn't like if they went deeper. I feel like they would differ so much that'd be odd.
Right.
But if it was just kind of like favorite song and like the other one from Because of the Internet, there's such like very much like kind of like Worst Guys. Yeah, they're both like very just like fun kind of like poppy almost songs, right?
Poppy is too
yeah,
poppy.
yeah. Well, I think. In general, those two songs are like where they should stay.
Right.
And I feel if they went deeper, because if they've separated so much over this time, that like if they're gonna make something, it should just be fun. Like the Lil B Chance the Rapper. That's like a fun. That's like a fun collab.
Right.
And I want if it's gonna happen, even though I'm like weirded out by it, I want that.
Right. For sure. And speaking of rumored projects,
oh shit,
Drake's been having a lot of his Instagram show up in the headlines recently.
Exciting.
Starting with the possible Take Care sequel thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he took the picture, same as the cover. I think people are taking a bit of a stretch. I don't think he's gonna
it's a stretch.
I don't think he's gonna make Take Care 2. I don't think he can make Take Care 2 hot take.
I don't think so either.
Because that's just like such an emotional album.
I
and
agree.
He's just so secure with who he is and where he's at. Like, I don't think he's gonna come in with a full sad boy album anymore.
I also think, I think he's secure in where he's at, but also he's so secure in that he's like, I think he still feels emotions just in the same way he always did. Yeah. I don't think he got famous and rich and was like, fuck, I don't feel Drake emotions anymore.
Yeah, true.
I think he feels them just the same. I feel like, unfortunately, he's taking those emotions and funneling them into generic terms like, what's that damn Passion Fruit song?
Yeah.
Where I feel like he's saying a lot of things he wants to say, but not saying anything at all.
Yeah.
Like with Marvin's Room, I feel like he's digging in, being like, hey, this is real raw
He's
emotion.
going through the motions,
Passion
right?
Fruit is like dance hall, we're having fun, you can hear this, and you won't feel too sad, but you could if you want to.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like if we're going to get anything emotional out of Drake anymore, it's going to be pop bullshit. True. And it's for the radio, and I think he's at an era where he's like, you know what, fuck making anything for like hip hop culture. He's like, I want a number one.
Yeah.
I think he wants number ones right now, and he's killing it. And if anyone's gonna make number ones, I'd rather hear a Drake number one over an Ariana Big Girl thing any day. But
Ariana Big.
Ariana Big. I don't have time for that.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's
I'm
fair.
cool. Like Passion Fruit, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Not emotional to me.
No.
It seems lazy and formulaic,
Very,
but also
very vague, sad boy.
insanely vague. And like, I miss when Drake was like, "I'm just saying you could do better."
Ooh.
Tell me, have you heard that lately? I'm just saying you could do better. And Drake, I'm just saying you could do better.
Ooh, wow.
Then a Lil Wayne tattoo.
Yeah, can we talk about this damn Lil Wayne tattoo? My man's got a big ass picture of Lil Wayne tatted on his arm, and like I get it, but is it too far?
I just gotta check. Did Wayne die?
No, he's still alive.
So why are you doing the big memorial tap for a brother who's still on the field, running around, leaning out?
And I think that's really what the weirdest thing about it is. Like, I get it. He's done a lot for your career. Y'all are homies. That's the boy. But, like, he's still alive. Like, it's weird to memorialize him already on your... Like, what if they fight or something? I mean, I don't know. Like, anyway,
they better not.
Hey, Drake.
Now he's right
I just want to let you know that I respect your decision to get Lil Wayne on your body. And don't listen to any of these haters.
I'm not body.
It's a bold move. I mean, do what you want.
People are gonna say stuff, but don't listen to them.
I'm just saying you can do better.
You can't do better. It's excessive.
Tell me, have you heard that lately?
It's so big. It's
massive. I feel like best friend tattoos are sick. But when you don't tell your best friend you're getting a best friend tattoo, it's a little weird.
Do you think Lil Wayne knew about it?
He had to know. I mean, I don't.
Did he?
He might. He's probably there holding his hand, to be honest.
I hope they were holding, like, both hands. They were doing, we're a team, both hands. I love that.
I love that idea. For you, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Do you think Drake, worked out his arm so he'd have his full muscle, ready to go? Is that a thing you do with tattoos? Anyway, that's a different podcast.
Well, I don't know, because, bringing in the other headline, he showed up his Degrassi royalty check, which was big for me on, a whole nother level. Because for me...
That's awesome.
For me, Drake and a couple of other artists signal this big shift in, hip-hop identity. Where this Canadian guy who was in a teen drama show, I think that's not focused on enough. He's on a teen drama show.
Yeah.
You watch, over 200 hours of this man doing very embarrassing acting.
Getting shot.
And he's like a superstar in the hip hop world, and no one's questioned his street cred in a very long time. We don't have that anymore. People are over it to the point where he can show his royalty checks.
The thing is, I think people fucking joked about it for so long that people just got over it.
Yeah, no one. You would think it would be a big hit.
He stayed around. No, it's just the superficial thing where he just kept making hits, so people just stopped caring after a while. The people shot everything they could at Drake at this point.
I think that's true.
I mean, the only time I'll sound like an old head is it's just crazy that he's gotten this far with that type of
almost Disney Channel.
I feel like that just shows us where rap is some point.
Yeah,
as the most popular genre, right? Yeah. As pop.
I mean, I'm happy. I sound really happy, but I'm happy about it that he can do that, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah. I feel
but it's just wild to think about.
There was something really exciting about seeing that check that would be an $8 and something cents because as
was
a man,
it $8? Oh, I thought it was
$8.62.
$8.
Yeah.
$8.62.
As a man who probably receives a large amount of checks a year, I feel like he doesn't even look at those anymore because it's just another number. Yeah. But to receive an $8 check is it's not about the money at that point. It's about the hey, shout out, cool. That was sick. I thought it was very exciting to see Drake get excited over an $8 check.
It's funny. It was a good move. I mean, shout outs to him.
As a man, he probably doesn't have $8 in ones. He just got hundreds. That man's loaded.
I mean, he's just killing it. He's just on another level. I mean, he's hosting award shows. Imagine a rapper hosting
I feel like from all that Instagram thing told me is I'm more scared for the other Degrassi actors, the ones that aren't famous. I was they're just getting $8 from that.
What's Mozzie up to?
Yeah, where are all these characters I remember?
Just getting $6 checks.
They need them.
No one's ever seen them
but they actually need them. So that means if Drake's getting that, I'm just feel bad for all those other actors. What are they up to? Facts. Nothing. So they're getting $8 from all that work they put in. That sucks.
Damn. It's real tough for them.
But let's talk about the most popular genre.
Yeah, well, speaking of the state of hip-hop and, what's happened to it, according to the Nielsen ratings, hip-hop is now the most popular genre in the United States. It has finally succeeded and gone over rock music, and it's now the most popular genre of music.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a pretty big accomplishment. And what does it mean?
All right, everyone. High fives.
Yeah, dude, high fives.
Shout out to hip hop, for the culture. We get it.
Our podcast is relevant. Fuck
all
yeah.
All right.
We're talking about pop music here. It's a pop music podcast.
Yeah. This is the most popular genre of music to talk about.
We out here.
Yeah, we're here.
I feel like
we did it. We started before it was official.
Yeah. I'm saying,
we've been here
a whole week.
I feel like everyone who knows hip hop is the biggest genre, but we finally have a stat to back it up, which feels good.
That's sick.
That's pretty sick.
It was
and that's sick, everyone.
And I do have one point with this.
Cool.
one point with this is I feel like a lot of rappers. Who did it? Vic Mensa literally did it in a song on the not the autobiography but the manuscript. He said something along the lines of like comparing himself to a rock star, and I've always thought it was incredibly weird for rappers to compare themselves to rock stars.
Well, for a while it was the biggest thing.
And in that sense, they're right. Rock star being
Are you calling out Kanye?
An icon? No, I'm not. But I mean, I feel like rappers for such a long time have compared themselves to rock stars, as rock star is this cool term of like I'm the guy who pushes culture and makes the moves. But do you think we're gonna stop comparing rappers to rock stars and be rappers are rappers? Because that is the new rock star.
Well,
we gotta stop. Rock star. I think
I'm willing to make the point in general that black people in general push the culture forward and contribute.
Definitely.
Shout out to the black people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just feel like the term rock star is like now less of an actual like, I make rock music and more of like I'm a power icon for
I always felt like it kind of always meant that. Like that's what they right?
Yeah.
Right, Zach?
PUBG? Like,
PUBG. Hell yeah, PUBG. Woo!
Either way, I feel like it just makes sense at this point. The amount of influence. It's just the fact that like
based on like
everyone listens to hip hop. Yeah. There's like a little section for everyone, right? Yeah. For whatever the interest they have, especially with the internet age broadening.
Yeah.
To the point that it has.
I think it's exciting because like hip hop is like
Drake, you know.
Now that it's pop, like hip hop used to be this like underground thing. Mm-hmm. I feel like we got hip hop, which is like hip hop, and then we got like hip hop, which is like the underground shit, in the sense that like we've never you brought this up in a tweet years ago and it really changed my life. Hip hop, like for some reason we've never given it the allowance to like split into subgenres, and like now
really
that it is the hip hop, it's popular music. Drake is the face of like popular hip hop. We got this underground movement that I feel like is finally being legitimized,
right?
In a cool way.
And I think at some point we really are gonna have to address this like subgenre issue. You can't compare.
To be fair, at the same time with rock, the alternative like subgenre has always been like falling within like the same type of like arguments. No arguments where like they're like, why do like the Talking Heads and the Pixies like they're very different? Right. Like you take all these, but they're all alternative. Dude, yes, it happens all the time. Just because alternative is such a fucking weird. It's just like, hey, it's different. Like alternative comic, it's just like a thing. But at least I think bare minimum, hip hop should have alternative.
Right.
Like,
yeah, they need like something.
Something. We don't have it.
In general, subgenres are like the best way to go about it, but people are just so averse to it, right? So I just like I wish we could push like bubblegum trap as like a thing, right? Like Lil Yachty saying that's a genre. It's like that's a great term. I want it to be real, like, and just like. People need to listen and be able to be receptive to make these terms like part of like the conversation, and people aren't. Yeah, people are scared. People just like I don't want hip hop to die. It's like it's not dying. It's #1 genre in the world.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's
like,
it's not going anywhere.
It's not going to go anywhere. But like maybe what you like is not going to be there.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you're scared about.
EDM gets 1.5 million subgenres. Like, why can't we do that with hip hop?
It's true.
I don't know. It's very frustrating.
And maybe rappers themselves.
By force. I mean,
also, I think, as hip hop pushed into popular, we're gonna by force get there as well.
I think rappers themselves should, like Lil Yachty, embrace.
Yeah, they need to. That is helping.
They need to establish that, hey, I am this thing. And like if you say that, you have influence, and then from there, I think other people can be like, "Oh, I'm part of this thing, or I'm part of that thing."
I think you're right. I mean, going back to Tyler on Goblin, constantly in Bastard, he talks about not putting him in a fucking box and like stop putting labels on music that just needs to be music. And I think you're right. It gains you influence, but however, does it eventually change the genre into being called like something different?
Well, but then it just becomes negative terms. You got mumble rap, right?
You got mumble rap,
if you don't establish it early enough, I feel like just the people who hate it will establish it then because they'll give a term. Right. So you get mumble rap, which is mean, right?
It's really mean. Yeah. And they're lashing out against it. 21 Savage was like, I'm not a mumble rapper. You can understand everything I'm saying.
And here's the difference too. It's like I know SoundCloud rappers that like hate being called SoundCloud rappers because it became this like negative term. Like, why are we so mean to people?
Yeah, that's why
SoundCloud?
Yeah, I feel like if we push forth genres first, then just people who hate it won't be able the ones to define it.
Right.
Right.
And people can't like hate what they can't define. They hate what they don't know.
Yeah. So if you define what you are, then they can at least pick like the term. At least they'll pick like SoundCloud rappers or something like that. Will be less mean. It would be like if they bubblegum trap. It's like I hate bubblegum trap. Right. That's not as mean as mumble rappers.
Right. It's a very normal subjective statement.
Yeah. It's like okay. It's like I hate punk. You're like, all right, cool. But mumble rappers, mumbling is never considered a good thing.
No, it just sounds
being coherent is not a good thing.
You can't even really flip it to try to make it what you want. It just doesn't sound good.
I know it's unfair, but I feel at this point, like, rappers need to be like, I am this thing in order to establish a good image of what they're doing, as opposed to letting, like, people who don't like it establish it.
Right. And I think, it's just unfortunately that haters are kind of putting all these labels onto the culture, but it is what it is. And speaking of haters pushing a SoundCloud artist and putting labels on him and kind of pushing him out, XXXTentacion recently came out and was I gotta take a break. I gotta step away for a bit, sort some things out, and I'm just gonna, peace out.
Let him do it. That's fine.
I think more people need to do it. I mean, to bring it into, like, the trending topic on Twitter today, Bieber took a break off his Purpose tour, or whatever the fuck it's called, that he's been doing forever, and I think it was John Mayer, or someone, like, important came through and was like, yeah, good, because, like, we have so many artists in this era that, like, have died from being over-pushed and overworked. And I think for a rapper or someone of musical influence to say, hey, I need a break, is a great thing, because, like, you can either, like, not let them take a break and they can die early, or, like, let them take a break, learn something about themselves, the world, and come back. And real quick, X being knocked out, having a dildo thrown at him, someone being, like, stabbed at his shows, like, yeah, that's break time.
Yeah, huge
that's
concert drama.
Exclamation point break in the chat right there.
I mean, as far as tour disasters go, he got, like, the book thrown at him. I mean, he got every possible bad
He got the
thing that
wiener
happened.
thrown at him.
Yeah, the proverbial wiener thrown at him at his concerts. And it
knocked him out.
Yeah, it was a rough tour, and I think he does need to take time to kind of figure out where he wants to go from here, deal with some of the hype, and, come back with what he wants to do.
I think it should be more socially acceptable to take, like, these mental health breaks. Yeah. Just because of how emotionally draining it is performing. And, like, seeing, like, that type of wreckage is the worst.
Right.
Or, like in a way you can't help but think, like, if they weren't at my concert, they wouldn't have gotten stabbed.
Right.
Like, you just have, like, these, like, you constantly just guilt yourself for all these things that you had really you weren't a part of. And it should just, I don't know, just like people who perform just constantly, like the high they get versus like when they get off.
Right.
It just like that, which forces them a lot of time to do drugs. That's why what I've heard. Like, as a not famous person who's performed for thousands.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what I'm like just scared about. Is I hope he can take this break and just come back.
Take this break, make some music.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, like do your shit, dude.
And just come back.
Yeah, I think Frank Ocean is a prime example of this.
True. Exactly.
A person who's like kept his like mental health in check while at the same time being relevant.
Right.
He's on like fucking both the Jay-Z album and Tyler's album, right? Yeah. He's remaining relevant while at the same time not being checked in constantly in the public eye. And people care. People fucking care.
Yeah.
And I think like he should be almost the standard of like where people should fall with this within this stuff.
Right.
Because I feel like that makes him be more okay almost. Also just more interesting as an artist. Because you're going to be wondering, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's
either
true.
way, that's where I
the
fall.
mystique and allure.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then also in terms of hype building, we have Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah.
And when the album gonna drop? Or not album, but new project, Love is Rage 2. When? Where it at? Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot going on with him, whether it's who he's actually signed to,
which pair of shoes he's wearing that day.
What's he wearing? What's going on?
Is he not signed?
He is signed.
He is signed.
But there was this Wiz Khalifa just like claimed him, but he's actually with like Don Cannon.
Why is Wiz Khalifa so left field?
Yeah.
Not claiming Uzi.
He was like, Uzi's officially Taylor Gang, and people were like,
he's not.
Is he signed?
Not even close to Taylor Gang. Taylor Gang is Uzi is smart, which is a different thing.
Yeah, I guess they're pretty different.
Like Don Cannon, I think that's Interscope. He's with Don Cannon. Cannon. But yeah, basically, he's been trying to get this project dropped forever, but you know how young artists and labels go. They haven't been exactly on the same page in terms of when this release is going to be. But I don't know. More so, what I'm concerned about is how good is this project gonna be? You know, like, is he?
Yeah.
Where is he at? Because Love Is Rage 1 is like pretty good. I wasn't the biggest fan of the like Scott Pilgrim whatever the fuck album he did.
Yeah, but
I mean,
Money, listen.
It did. It
the
definitely did.
Got you.
Because I was like, Scott Pilgrim, where?
Same.
Yeah.
I think same, and I was kind of like underwhelmed. But there's certain songs I like.
Absolutely.
I mean, Money Longer is fine. P's and Q's fine.
P's and Q's Money Longer. It's a little too long.
I don't like Money Longer.
It's a little too.
It's fun. I'll dance to it. But so with Uzi, I feel like Uzi.
You're the former.
I love Uzi as an idea, as a concept, as a
more
rapper.
so
As our SoundCloud aficionado.
Yeah.
Where do you stand?
Ooh,
Go
I
for it.
repost it. But so with Uzi, I'm nervous because I love Uzi. I think he's really good. I feel like he's really incredible as a feature, but I feel as he's being signed to a thing, I think like he's gonna be pushed as the like, hey, we need some sort of SoundCloud guy for our track with someone who's super mainstream.
Right.
I think he's gonna either be pushed into everyone else's tracks as the bad and bougie feature that goes and makes noises and everyone hates on but loves secretly. And if he does come back with a solo album, I'm really afraid we're gonna get Teenage Emotioned. Right. And he's someone that I defend heavily, just like I defended Yachty. But as a solo artist, I do not know if he's strong enough on his own as much as I like him.
Okay, I'm not even a fan, but I'm gonna say how I've seen him playing his cards. He's been playing pretty differently from like Lil Yachty, right? And I feel like he's actually been more careful with his like his features and where he's gonna be on than Lil Yachty.
Uh-huh.
And his like image and public profile in general, like Lil Yachty's the one who goes and confronts Joe Budden about like not knowing Biggie, while I feel what's his fucking Lucifer has actually taken more of a backseat. Like he I think it's more calculated his decisions about this type of stuff.
Well, I feel like he had that Breakfast Club interview a while back, or not Breakfast Club, Hot 97 with Peter Rosenberg, where they kind of like grilled him. It was like really original with like SoundCloud rapper, like before the freshman list,
every SoundCloud
and they just
rapper
grilled him, and he didn't like it.
Gross.
And he was like, "I'm not gonna deal with this." I feel like he
had
that interview, and he was like,
smart.
"I'm not gonna deal with
this." I think he's smart, and then he stayed out of it.
Yeah,
unlike Yachty, who I feel like
keeps trying to impress them.
Yeah. And I don't put it against Yachty because I mean it's scary and it's difficult.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe if it didn't work, so far it didn't seem like it really worked for Yachty.
No.
So it might work for Uzi Vert. Who knows?
I'm just afraid Yachty's gonna be Yachty and Uzi in general are gonna be pushed as this SoundCloud sound that they like unfortunately no longer represent when they go into production studios with people that are telling them what to do.
Right.
I mean, for example, EXO Tour Life on SoundCloud, incredible, over 100 million listens.
So good.
So some stupid ass old head who likes FLAC FLAC music came through and was like, yo, EXO Tour Life, great song. The people like it. How about we change it minorly? And they came through and re-recorded parts of EXO Tour Life. Now it's on the radio. And as someone who loves that song, that shit got ruined by, like, these minor changes that, like, what did they do besides, like, maybe change the microphone so some, like, flack kid can be like, oh, this sounds, like, technically better. But we don't want your technically better. We're in an era of, I want this... Where were you at when we recorded this in the bathroom?
Right.
We want songs from the bathroom. Fuck, like, Capitol Records. We want to hear your music from, like, where you're really at.
Right.
And I know you didn't listen to 444.
Yeah, I listened to a little. And I was
but on that album, there's songs that you can tell that were recorded not, like, at night. Or, like, when he just woke up or somewhere that wasn't a professional studio. And I think they work because of that. And... the only reason Jay-Z had that freedom, I think, is because he was in the industry to this point.
Right.
Where he can make an album like that.
That's true.
And it's just, on little Uzi Vert's end, it's probably just so many yes men and just, like, people being like, you have to make the pristine version of this.
Right.
While not knowing, like, hey, what people really want is, like, the raw,
we want your voice memo
And
version.
who even knows what deal he's in? I mean, obviously he's not
You in a 360 deal?
He might be.
You in a 360 deal?
Just the way he's been, like, you know, trying to, like, release this album.
And now if you're...
That was a good thing to mention, Joe Budden. I love you.
You're gonna bring up Joe Budden. Joe Budden's a fucking bully. You in a 360 deal? You don't know about your deal right now? Talk about it.
Budden Biden 2020.
Budden
Biden 2020.
Shout out
I love Joe Budden.
Shout out Academics.
Academics is fake as fuck, and he tries to appeal to everyone.
Joe Budden's a bully and an asshole.
But Budden stands by his opinions, and he expresses what he feels like. Sometimes a little too much.
Chase Snapchat kids.
true. He did.
DJ Academics
He did.
is the type of person to interview Migos, even though he knows it could be a shitty interview.
Joe Biden might end an interview
Damn,
because
called out.
shitty.
DJ Academics is one to make fun of like Chicago rap and like people who have died.
And then cry when Vic Mensa shows up.
Yep.
But
Joe Budden and Joe Budden's the cool guy who laughs
Oh,
and loves it.
That is fun. Now Joe Biden's fun, but Jesus, bro.
yeah.
I feel like okay, well, I don't know if there's a Joe Budden like cast.
Hey, Joe Budden, what up? Come through the podcast.
Hey, talk about Joe. You're relevant right now. That's hard.
He is okay. I'm not saying he's relevant as a rapper, which is ridiculous.
He's relevant as a person.
He's relevant as a
Not
person.
as a rapper, because his
And
rap
I
sales.
feel like I feel both DJ Academics and him put together is really interesting because they're very polar opposites.
Right.
You have somebody who's like so like staunch in like his opinions of what he feels about certain things
Yeah.
that like he's also the grumpiest dude alive.
Old head.
No, but it's not. He's
Definition
not.
old head.
But he's not even just that.
Yeah.
I think he's also just like such a bitter and mean person.
Right.
No, I agree. I'm
He's
not
good
saying.
traits?
I'm not saying he's an asshole. I'm not saying he's not an asshole.
Right. Okay.
But I'm saying, as like a person to see comment on things and say stuff, he's very refreshing on my end. To see like a guy who's just
So
I don't know.
sternly
I know. Like
believes.
I'm sometimes interested in where he's gonna fall with stuff. Like I don't know, with Vince Staples, right? He loves Vince Staples, and just seeing how something he loves is so rare.
And doesn't he love like Post Malone?
Yeah,
I think
like
he's
he loves
about-
Post
like-
Malone.
and he
It's
loves
just
him,
like
big fan.
He loves
it's.
to get mad,
I think
too.
it's just like in an age where people interviewing people are just so like a dime a dozen. Like people, like I know their personalities immediately. Like DJ Academics, like I feel like I know his type. But Joe Budden is just such it's like a person
type.
who was never but he was never made to be interviewed. Interview other people. He's
Right.
an interviewer.
Yeah.
So I feel like that to me feels refreshing and more interesting to me because like
that's
I know
how we get the mic drops and crazy.
that's how we
scenarios
get a
that we do.
Migos interview that's actually interesting,
Right.
as opposed to every other Migos interview that sucks.
Right.
True. That is true. You have a point there.
So that's where I just feel my entertainment as a consumer of
Totally.
like rap media.
Yeah.
I guess.
As your rap media consumer.
Yeah, I feel that's where that it interests me.
Right.
Like,
it is interesting.
And I
mean,
think-
that's why he's relevant right
and
now.
I feel there's an amount of respect I get from him, just the fact that he stands by things he believes in, and he will never cater to trends
Ever.
or ever. like. Yeah, that's and I know that can be a thing that people hate, especially like you, Austin.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like watching people get mad and like yelling at people and then get like get to do that for a living.
That's fair.
And I don't know.
That's
I feel
fair.
like Academics pulls more numbers in his streams than Joe Budden's album sales, but that's a different combo.
No, I think I agree. Probably.
That's
no,
sad
that's
facts.
fair.
Yeah,
That's true.
sad, but I don't know. I'm on the side of positivity in an era of sad hip hop. I don't know. It's nice. I feel like positive is still a thing in like new wave shit. I feel like a lot of old hip hop is very negative, and that's fine.
I feel from my end though, like the positivity DJ Academics presents to me almost
Fake.
feels like it's fake. It's
Fair.
manufactured. It doesn't seem
Manufactured
as real.
positivity. I get that.
The fact that Joe Budden's real, I just attracts me. If DJ Academics was like a very positive, like Lil Yachty feels like a very positive, nice person.
He's legitimately
Yeah,
positive. Yes.
yeah. If DJ Academics was like Lil Yachty, I would say different. Obviously, Joe Budden's a dick, and he shouldn't treat that person that way. But DJ Academics just feels off to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I again, I'm pro positivity, and I can't wait to see somebody like that. But in the very case of like bullshit, like trying to get your attention media, I prefer I fall on the side of Joe Budden.
Touche.
But yeah, I agree. Like I would prefer positivity over anything,
Word.
and I would love to see that happen. I want it. I want it.
I would love to see Joe Biden, either of them be happy for a day.
But like if in that like very like in that context of whatever that what's the name of that complex show?
Everyday struggle.
Yeah, those two, they're both like fucking people like are I feel like assholes in different ways, and the asshole I would side with is Joe Budden.
Fair.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's fair. No, and I don't hate like siding with Joe Budden. I have respect for Joe. He's just not for me.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of assholes, men making questionable decisions out here. Here's the. Well, we have Rick Ross
Being a dick.
coming out, doing his first interview in a while. And what does this guy say? I don't sign female MCs because, you know what I mean, I'd have to fuck them. Questionable quote. I mean, it's stuff like that when you say, like, how did you not know you're gonna get fried up for saying that? There was no, like, ooh, this is a hot take. He just fucking said it. And, I mean, he's getting crucified right now again after his, like, rape lyrics that he released, like, what was that, 4 or 5 years ago?
Okay, I feel like not you're on Joe Budden. I'm Rick Ross. I feel like Rick Ross, for me at least, has always embodied this weird, like, masculine, almost hyper masculine style of hip hop, and that he's like, ugh. I mean, and in the way he like talks about women and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But like, I mean, to bring it back to a controversy that was a couple years ago, when he crashed his rolls for being shot at,
right.
Did we ever find out if that was like an actual shooting or a conspiracy? Because I don't trust him.
Here's the thing. Yeah,
you shouldn't.
It's hard to trust him because, I mean, we had it revealed before. I mean, it's not even really a surprise. His name is Rick Ross.
It should have destroyed his career.
Which is a play on the actual drug dealer, Freeway Rick
that he
Ross,
claimed to be.
That he claimed to be, had to win a lawsuit claiming the right that he was not actually Rick Ross, but portraying a character. So literally the most, like just fake thing you could be in hip-hop, which is all about being real. And he somehow beat the case. And has been able to create an empire and do big things, but he's built a career off of being fake. I mean, he used to be a parole officer in Miami, and now he's head of a hip-hop label.
How can you be a parole officer in a hip-hop major?
I don't understand how it happened, but he's here, and it's happened.
So I have a minor hot take.
Yes.
On this.
Hit us with
in which it's like, if Rick Ross is this level of creepy, I'm glad he admitted it. So that, like, I don't know, if he was the type of person just to actually just get female MCs to show up just for him to fuck them, that would be, and then revealed later on, it'd be worse to me.
Bringing in artists to fuck them?
Yeah.
Which sounds a lot like the R. Kelly scandal.
Yeah. So
I'm glad we have the two points we can compare.
Yeah. If you compare, like, I think R. Kelly did was worse.
Right.
And the fact that Rick Ross admitted something like this without actually doing anything bad, which is great to anybody. So far, that's what we know.
Yeah.
And that's great. And the fact that people know about this now and, like, maybe perhaps take him off, like, the head of the label or in charge of that type of stuff, I think that's good.
I don't know.
I think that's good.
Nip the bud early before it comes a full-on sex cult.
It's true.
And the fact that he admitted it, like, that's saying, hey, I can't manage a label. And I'm like, all right, cool, get him off.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying, right? Yeah. I can't manage music label. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's not have you on here if this is the problem you're going to have.
Right. Hip-hop for females should never be like a casting couch situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And like for Rick Ross,
he admitted it, which is great.
It's a casting pouch situation because he's a big boy, and like without female artists on his record, like I feel like Maybach music is just gonna be sit back music. I'm not excited.
Perhaps I agree, and I think the fact that maybe he's dumb,
right?
I don't know, but the fact that he said out loud before like anything like. I just hope someone acts upon it.
Right, because it gives us a very pinpoint reason to why we have so many few female MCs. I mean, right now in the limelight we have...
Who knows how many other artists feel that way and haven't said it, right?
So, I mean, it's just a shame that all we have right now...
I want all the ones that feel that way to say it live so we can just be like, hey, all right, let's take you off.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
I mean... There's something about just admitting you're a shitty person that's kind of refreshing, but also don't want to give you credit for admitting...
I'm not giving you credit.
Right,
totally. Yeah.
Right.
But I'm just like, all right, cool. Let's get you out. Let's
fix it, please. Somebody.
Yeah.
Sorry. Cool.
Hey, you said something stupid in public. Let's fix you as a person rather than just like saying, "Hey, wow."
The fact that it's getting fixed in this day and age is amazing
too. That is true.
And I think that needs to be appreciated. I think we should shit on him. He's awful.
You know what?
And I think that's like
something to shout out here is the fact that he said this, and for like I don't know, maybe not the first time. But like the hip hop community is like, yo man, slow down and chill.
Yeah, every major hip hop outlet reacted as they should to this.
Yeah,
Vader, Complex, whoever, which is great.
Great, thank God.
It's a very low bar, but
we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, thank God. But I mean that pretty much wraps up what we have to talk to about.
That's true.
Oh, then we'll be like R. Kelly was our final.
Oh, we want to lead into the full R. Kelly thing because this is crazy.
Is this the final thing we're gonna talk about?
We're gonna end on R. Kelly. Because I mean this has been everywhere. It's pretty hard to avoid the news.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly has apparently been.
Who has read the most? Sorry, yeah, explain.
I'm pretty caught up on all of this just because I'm so baffled about this. R. Kelly, if you don't know, has been a pretty. I mean, it's about as open as you could be about being a pedophile as you can. I mean,
right.
Also, shout out to Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Never forget.
Never forget. I mean, you have the peeing scandal. You have the fact that he married Aaliyah when she was 15. Wrote an album for her called "Age Ain't Nothing But a Number." I mean, he's just like begging. But now he's really taking the cake with he's been taking girls varying ages, bringing them in under the guise that he's going to help build their career.
To my knowledge, most of them very young.
Most of them very young. I mean, the youngest is 16. A couple of them are the actual age of consent. But he's basically been trying to boost their careers, but instead he puts them in these homes in either Atlanta or his place in Chicago, and he forces these crazy rules upon them. They can't speak to other men. They can't even really look at each other. He videotapes sexual acts with them, and every time they bring up their actual career, he seems to kind of just skate it off. And now the problem is it's been this crazy loophole where some of them are 19 and like 18, and they're saying
the people who brought this up are not them specifically.
Right, it's the parents who have been like, "Yo, I need my daughter back," and they're just been completely brainwashed and saying everything's fine, and they won't come home. They don't have cell phones. They don't have anything.
So you, I think out of all of us, you're the most informed.
Definitely.
Just because like I've watched I've read an article, I think I've read 3-4 articles and then watched a video. What have you seen, Austin? On this,
I'm only informed about the pee-pee scandal, and I know that he has sex cult shit going on.
You hear about this recently, so you've just seen titles then?
Yes, I've just seen headlines.
So what have you seen?
I've read a pretty up-to-date account from the parents and what they've heard. And,
okay.
It's pretty messed up. I mean, the parents have been trying to contact with police. Police have been able to try, but it's basically they don't find anything, or it's the fact that they are the age of consent.
It's a very, very... The thing is, because he brought them early, it's a very difficult thing, the fact that they're the age of consent at this point.
They're consenting adults.
If it was earlier, this could have been bust open, not pun on Nintendo.
Busted wide open.
No, but yeah.
Mondo cool.
Yeah, Mondo cool. But yeah, it's just this is such a shitty and uncomfortable place to be in, where stuff like this can happen. And
now some of the victims have released videos being like, "Hey, we're fine," and
videos vlog style, "Hey everybody, it's me, I'm
fine." Very set up. I mean, it's just a steady cam of them looking at the camera. Real quick, I'm fine. Stop this.
So
I mean, it's
he's recording all of these sexual interactions with these women, correct?
Yeah.
Therefore, R. Kelly sex tape when? As much as do you think any of these girls are gonna personally release, one as a clout move and two as an evidence move? Do you think we're gonna get an R. Kelly tape?
So far,
not that I want one.
As far as I can tell, maybe this might give confidence for people who've been affected by R. Kelly's cult to speak up, which is great. So. As if they do. That would create some sort of change or some sort of hey, this is what I think. It's somebody who actually because if the parents are letting people talking, they can't do anything.
Right.
That's just the tough spot to be in, just because their kids are old enough to the point that you can't if they can make their own decisions.
Right.
So we just have to cross our fingers and hope that
or maybe even just an instance of domestic abuse. I mean, if there's evidence of that can get him as well.
Mm-hmm. But domestic abuse is even more difficult. The fact that if they don't even admit, if they still love him, then they can't admit. It's either one person to be wait, this is actually fucked up, and make go forth, and it's difficult, especially being in that environment for such a. It's just such a tough situation.
Yeah, it's just so fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
And I want it to be fixed.
Yeah,
and it's just such a difficult thing. If it was caught earlier, it could have been fixed, and the problem it's not. And it's just now we're in a very, very difficult legally.
It's just so frustrating
place to deal with it.
Because it's a man who he should have been nipped in the bud so long ago. I mean, Boondocks has been talking about this since 2000.
Jesus, that's real.
I mean, we've known this about this guy. There's been so much evidence since the 90s. It's crazy that this guy has been able to still ride off clout. I I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. As much as he is a very shitty dude, and I don't want to give him any credit for not being.
Shout out to Ignition.
Yeah,
well,
yeah. I mean, Ignition.
The remix. You want the remix because Ignition 1.
No. I've never heard of it. Ignition 1 doesn't exist in my book.
Well, the whole backstory on that whole thing is a different podcast.
I don't even want to know about it.
People that are listening, actually Google that story because it's super interesting. But R. Kelly, shitty man. Inventor of hip opera. You gotta give him that as much as he is a shitty
Inventor of hip hop?
Hip opera.
Actual.
Crap in the closet.
Okay, hip opera.
Hip opera.
Okay.
Carmen the Hip Opera, starring Beyonce and Mackay.
I hear that goes
came
into
out in like a little earlier than that.
Pre R. Kelly.
Yeah.
So you're okay. As someone who may be completely ignorant to this, you're telling me that R. Kelly is not the founder of hip hop.
Yep.
He is useless and needs to go.
I almost feel like God is testing us and like our faith of people we like. But by taking people like I don't know, like a Bill Cosby, like a person like everyone liked, and then being like, hey, check this out, they raped like 30 people, and they're
what
like,
do you think about him now?
What do you think now is the God? And we're like, fuck. They're like, what do we do? It's like, all right, now R. Kelly had a sex cult.
What?
And you're like, damn it, oh my god, I don't know what to do.
Matthew Broderick, Ferris Bueller killed 2 women. Think about it. Google it.
Yeah.
That's fact.
He got away okay.
That's real.
No problem.
That's
Yeah,
real.
Alright, damn. That's
Matthew Broderick killed 2 people. Google that shit. Real conspiracy hours. Manslaughter. Got off. Beat the case. Only you had to pay $187 fine. I'm very influential.
Wait, just $187?
Yeah, that's it. That's all he did.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like one of those things of like celebrity status and like artist output, the output, and where I don't know the degree of like what's allowed really, and which shouldn't be anything. You're just a person. You're not
just
like
a person.
you should be judged as a person, but it's just difficult because of the influence they've had before and the things they've made that people like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a PSA, people. Clout kills.
True.
Clout
kills.
Clout.
Be careful with that clout.
Hey, R. Kelly can be in jail and you can still enjoy a song he made.
Trapped in the Closet Part 1 through 69.
Yeah.
They're all good.
I think it got bad when it got he got too aware
Bougie?
of the joke. No, when he got too aware of the
As
joke.
soon as it was an IFC production, it was
Yeah,
no
I thought it was
longer
not as good
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
At least me, I felt like he got a little too aware of like what was going
I
on.
feel like after we got to the scene with the midget baking the pie that's the wrong flavor, we really started pushing it.
What was that?
That's like episode
you gotta
16.
Hey, also
Yeah,
little
deep.
person.
Yeah,
You're right. The only reason I say that
problematic alert.
is because that's how they're referred to.
Also, that's a reference to 444.
R. Kelly didn't say, and surprise, she was a little person. So,
I don't know. No, we're
But
getting
you're right.
a lot of letters from the little person
I apologize
community.
to the little people. Shouts out.
Damn. Well, we did it, guys. We got a lot of information on this
Woo!
one.
Yeah,
We
it's
really
because
did.
we waited like a week and a half. I feel like this one got longer.
We had a lot
You
of
have a
stuff
timestamp on this one?
It's been at
Do
least
you feel like we're gonna try?
hour 15.
So,
Damn.
I feel like this is the end of the podcast, right?
Do you want to do a Mondo rating on the podcast?
Let's see. I think it was Mondo Cool.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 4.
So
Melissa?
we should let. I think for the future Tuesdays.
Tuesdays?
I think
We're gonna let-
Tuesdays
I
is
think
the official
Tuesdays
day.
is going to be the official days.
Twitch.
Tuesdays at 9.
On
Yeah, just
Twitch.
like Tuesdays at 9 on Twitch. You can catch us, and then right after the end of the podcast, we'll interact and talk to you guys.
Yeah,
We have
do
a little-
and beforehand as well.
post-game
Post and pre.
analysis.
Yeah.
Pre-show, post-show, we got all of it. Check us out on Twitch.
So we're
that's
gonna,
where the interaction happens.
And
we
we're-
are reading chat while that shit goes, and you guys are wild.
and then we're actually gonna interact with them when it ends.
Yeah.
Of course.
And speaking of ending,
let's do it. It's that's been the second episode of Mondo Cool.
That's right,
it's your
boys.
boy Mark Lane. Follow me at SomeBlackKid87 on all social media, and we also have our boys.
Enrique, I think I'm Funrique on Twitter.
Hell yeah.
Funrique93 on Instagram. Actually, I'm Gramrique now on Instagram.
whoa, shit.
Instarique was taken.
That's 6 bucks.
But
classic.
Gramrique isn't, so you can find me
Damn.
there. Otherwise, shout out to Austin.
Yeah, well, I'm Austin Dodge, aka at Austin Dodge. And yeah, that's where I'm
Follow
at.
him over at Big Boy Game Town.
Big Boy Game Town, woo woo. We out here
Austin's really
on
cool.
Twitch. We
I always
have a
love
good time.
Austin. He's a
Hell
great
yeah. So
person.
follow us on Twitch, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good shit. Thank you for joining us.
Friendster.
We out.
We out here.